Welcome to Lymphatic Insights. Today I have the pleasure of speaking with Amitay Eshel. Amitay is an entrepreneur in the biohacking and beauty industry with over a decade of executive experience in health, wellness and beauty, as well as business development consulting. As co-founder and CEO of Young Goose and host of the Young Goose Biohacking Beauty podcast, Amitay drives innovation and wellness by focusing on performance optimization and skin health. A renowned speaker and wellness expert, he's been featured on various podcasts and events like Biohacking Congress and KetoCon. Outside of work, Amitay enjoys martial arts, mindfulness, cooking, traveling and studying history, always staying informed on the latest in health and longevity. Hello everyone, welcome to Lymphatic Insights. Excited today to have the wonderful Amitay here. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Desiree. It's a pleasure joining you anytime and on a podcast. To know you more. So.
I had the pleasure of meeting Amitay a couple of years back now and his beautiful wife, Anastasia, and we met at a conference. And, Amitay's been an incredible support to us at Flow Prezzo, just opening doors and recommending people. So I'm incredibly grateful. And I think as founders, we pretty much started around about the same time, didn't we, in launching?
Yeah, you were also kind of a 2020 product, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of had a couple of conversations through the years about the challenges of being entrepreneurs in the area of health in the US. So, I mean, that's been a really lovely part of knowing you both, and I've appreciated those conversations. But obviously, this podcast is to try and create awareness in the lymphatic system and give people insight. And Amitay, that he's behind an incredible, beautiful range of products from Young Goose. And he's going to talk a little bit more about that and the importance of why we need to consider what we're putting on our skin. But firstly, we always start off with what's something about you that not many people know about.
Wow. That I have that I'm obsessed with the breed of dogs called bulldogs. I actually don't own one. I grew up with ones, but that is, I think, a very quirky thing for like ex special forces CEO, entrepreneur, jiu-jitsu black belt guy to talk about his love for especially almost morbidly obese type of dog. But that's the truth. I adore bulldogs.
And well, you might have one day.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm working on it. I need to convince Anastasia because she is not into unhealthy dogs. Having said that, we were making progress. So
Oh, well, I'll see if I can put a good word in when I see you. Dogs are very therapeutic, no matter what they look like.
Also, I'm a guy that his day job is like helping people with wrinkles, and then comes this dog. So that's a little bit of
That's funny. So let's can you give me a little bit of insight what you know about the lymphatic system? Because I think it's really interesting. We're trying to really assess across the board what people do know and don't know. So, because you've got a lot of amazing career background, especially being involved in development of product. But tell me what you know.
Whoa, I would first of all, start with maybe something that is the most popular thing that people say, that it's the largest. It is actually. That's actually, people don't know. So people say the skin is the largest organ in the body, but it is actually not true, because if you think of the lymphatic system as an organ, that would be the largest organ in the body. It is doesn't have a pump, so it works on the basis of contraction and expansion to move fluids around, but it actually doesn't have a central pump like the heart. It relies on muscle contraction to move fluid around, and there are two basically versions of that in our body, which is the lymphatics, musculoskeletal lymphatic system, and the glymphatic system in the brain. Obviously, it's in charge of toxin removal. And what else? What else can we say? It's obviously, there is a decline in lymphatic flow as we grow older. Obviously, that depends on many factors like muscle mass and among other things. But is fascial tension in general in the body. That's a hot topic right now in like the optimal performance space. But yeah, I mean
Right?
that's kind of the basis of it, right?
Yeah, and that helps. You know a lot more than most. So you passed the test. Thank you.
Yeah,
So let's segue into your specialty, right? You've made these incredible healthy products for the face and for wrinkles, etc. And can we just segue first before we sort of get into that and the incredible work you've done and the working behind it, more importantly, is thinking about that lymphatic health from a perspective of skin, because as you said, it is an organ. It is, we not only excrete out of the skin, but we, take in from the skin as well. So the lymphatic system is really having to work hard on what you are putting and applying on that
yeah.
organ. So, probably provide our readers a little bit of insight that you have from, especially being in the industry you're in.
Well, I think a big misconception is that the skin is very good at excreting toxins, and actually, it's not really that good. Um, Not saying that it's completely rubbish, but it is not its main purpose. It is the main purpose of obviously of your lymphatic system. So I think that's the number one thing that people I think get wrong, especially looking at things like infrared saunas as like detoxification agents and things like that. It's a very incomplete picture. Where things go wrong is maybe when it is completely dysfunctional at releasing those toxins and they kind of get trapped somewhere in the skin, or trapped is not the right word, but they are not metabolized and broken down correctly, and they can actually accumulate in areas in your skin and disrupt the skin. But that is really, I would say, a pillar of skin longevity. So what we specialize in, and the reason I specialize it in skin longevity, is not because I studied it officially. Okay, I am an entrepreneur. I had a small exit in the red light therapy space a long time ago, which definitely has ties to the lymphatic system and toxin
Mhm.
removal as a whole. And I mean, you even use far infrared in your suit. So, but really, my journey starts as an entrepreneur, and but I've put my money where my mouth is, and have definitely ignited the industry that is now called longevity skincare, and you and I both see growing. We were the first ones in that field, really playing alone, especially in the product development phase, which we now see many companies follow suit. The largest, what we call legacy skincare, like L'Oreal, Estee Lauder, these companies, and smaller companies like the wonderful company OneSkin, fantastic company, or a Nestle owned L'Oreal branch, which is called Mytopure, which are kind of really dominant players within that field. But really, the any longevity skincare brand you would imagine really tries to do three things. It tries to create youthful energy. It tries to improve removal of debris, removal of mistakes, basically in all levels, and to protect the skin. That's the discussion, and a big part of it is removal of dysfunctional parts, and that's where the lymphatic system comes in. Really, we can say as far as like energy and youthful state, that's a cardiovascular system as a system that plays there. If we zoom out of intercellular processes really that happen, which we specialize in. We specialize in intercellular processes, NAD for youthful function, autophagy, spermidine for toxin removal, but really like malfunctioning part metabolism. And protection, I would say it's your barrier, whether it is like skin barrier, or by the way, like skin gut access, as far as like protection. So these are the three like inter systematic approaches you can take. As far as our lymphatic system, it's not only, I believe, like non-present in the discussion of skin longevity. I actually think it's abused. I actually think it's criminally ignored, because most of the I call it sweep it under the rug type treatments in the beauty industry, which are whether injectables like neurotoxins, obviously Botox and Dysport are like the major players there, or fillers like Restylane, like hyaluronic acid based fillers. Both of them cause disruption or more than that, or damage to the lymphatic system. And also wave-based devices such as all therapy, which is ultrasound, anything that's really saying ultrasound, high frequency ultrasound, or radio frequency, are going to damage mainly that's going to be more your cardiovascular system. That's going to damage vascularity in the skin. But also within that, actually, these play off each other, right? Like your blood flow and your lymphatic system. So both of those systems, I would say, obviously this gut skin axis is a whole different can of worms, no pun intended. But your lymphatic system, especially in your face, as I said, is actually almost ignored completely. And the movement today, the movement that is kind of the Botox alternative movement, that we again are a player there. Like a lot of our users are doing it not to get results like Botox, but because they want the best looking skin without using Botox. So they're willing to invest the money that they would have invested in Botox in a product that costs more money. Okay, that movement, really, a lot of what they do on a day-to-day basis actually is lymphatic system support, without calling it lymphatic system support. Whether it is gua sha, face taping. Most people think that face taping is something it is completely not, which is like, I'm going to educate my muscles to not move. That is, that's weird. But because they don't have a brain, right? But what isn't weird is like, I'm sure you've had someone talk about it, and if not, we can definitely talk about it. But kinesiological taping, which is what face taping is really kind of speaking the fascial lymphatic system language to recruit more, again, blood supply and lymphatic waste removal from that area. And of course, again, like facial massages, all of that. So it's ignored negatively and positively, right? But that's kind of a little bit my rant. I think about it a lot, actually, aside from this conversation. And we do have your facial lymphatic drainage device next to Anastasia's side of the bed, which looks, like something else, but that's different.
Yes.
I don't know, the cleaning lady, I don't know what she thinks that is, but okay.
Yeah, it's a point of discussion. That's for we're talking about the Flow Vibrate. Yeah, I didn't think that through when I
even the name. Listen, this product, I'm very suspicious of this product. Anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, we had an amazing story the other day. We had a girl in who she had jaw surgery about 11 years ago, and she's part of a different trial with me, but she was talking about headaches a bit, so we gave her the Flow Vibrate to trial, and she was using it, and after 4 days I get this message to say, my face is so itchy, like I don't know what to do with it. And I said, well, maybe we'll just stop using it. But no, she proceeded. She was only doing it once a day, but she had to wear gloves that night because she was ready to scratch her face. It was so bad. But the next day she wakes up, and after 11 years she has full feeling back in her face.
Wow.
She could feel her teeth again when she was brushing her teeth. She was so blown away because we do, as you say, you can get trapped in accumulation, right? So it could have been the anesthetic, it could have been an infection, we don't know what it was, but she now has, and it stayed back after 11 years. So moving lymph in the face can be incredibly powerful. And vibration, it's like the Flow Vibrate was the lazy person's gua sha, pretty much. It was designed for that purpose. But more importantly, because of my background in lymphatics, I was really just trying to get people to find an easy solution to drain their lymph, because it's not always easy to remember the sequence of doing it. And that was the purpose behind it. But enough of that, back to you. So how did you come up with the thinking and the formulations to create the products you did?
It's funny because I'm sure there are other examples of that, but we are a lemonade at a lemon type skincare company, where the company, for the first 3 years of its existence, we say founded in 2017 because that's when the company decided it's a skincare company. But the company really, this project started in 2014. And this project was not a project around skin. It was a project around a molecule that we liked. And that's something like an anecdote, that what we started is a company that's multi-organ, one molecule, right? You are, as you innovate, you are a one organ multi-product. That's the definition of a company. So we started as a multi-organ, one molecule, which is called NAD. And NAD is the currency for repair in the body. If we think of aging, it's accumulation of unresolved damage or unrepaired damage. And NAD is the currency for repair. It lowers with age. Therefore, there is deficiency in repair. And that's what aging is. And, it is, we've known about this molecule for about 100 years, but that realization that it does so much is about 25 years old. And it is at the base of every protocol for longevity. And as I said, we were exiting the red light therapy space contractually, financially, all of that good stuff. And I am a person that is, as I mentioned before, a very kind of active person. Again, like jujitsu black belt and all that stuff. I had a lot of accumulation of small traumas and injuries. And in general, I want to perform my best. And back then in Israel, 2012, maybe there are a handful of functional medicine doctors. And I got NAD IVs, and they were a fortune. A fortune, I'm talking about probably 13 grand, translated to American dollars, as far as a series of treatments. And what I'm saying is, this is amazing. Everyone should feel this. Kind of what you said about the Flow Vibrate, right? How can I make everyone experience this and save them in this case, the financial hardship? So we fund the study 2014, or fund a research team to research, and their idea was, let's make a cream the same way you have hormone replacement therapy creams. Let's take a cream that will get it through your skin but to the rest of your body. We'll bypass the need for intravenous administration. The reason we didn't do supplements is, back then we knew. Today it's a very commercial thing, the supplements of NAD. But what we knew is that it's not gonna really kind of enrich your body with NAD. It mainly will stay in your liver and some internal organs. So we wanted something like super effective. But what happened was, we realized that after, again, 2014, by 2017, we realized that the skin needs it chronically. At the age we're trying to treat, which is like 35 and up, the skin needs it chronically, and it's not going to share. You're going to give it the amount that you can absorb through the skin. It's going to keep it. It's not going to share with the rest of the body, because your body is so deficient of NAD. Any cell that receives it is going to use it and it's going to prioritize using it, and it's not going to prioritize going to share it with the rest of your body, as opposed to vitamin A, for example, which your body kind of uses a little bit and stores. Okay, so we pivoted, we made lemonade out of lemons, and we became slowly we became more of a one molecule, multiple organs. First of all, we zeroed down on an organ, but then we said, which is our skin in this case, but then we said that molecule is potential repair. Now we need to kind of follow those three pillars, which we've founded, but now we see other companies follow, which is, okay, now the body has the ability to go back and like repair and create a youthful state in the skin up to 20 years younger. Now we need the other pieces, which is how do we get it to go back, repair, and clear out or recycle older malfunctioning parts of itself. That's through things like autophagy, which anyone that's interested in fasting, that's what you're trying to do in fasting, but how do we do it topically? And then how do we protect it from future damage? So we develop technologies that structure water around your proteins in the skin, or protection against like EMF, pollution, heavy metals, UV, obviously, artificial light. So these are the three pillars we've kind of created. And by now we have almost like 20 products. We are distributed in, I don't know where people are hearing this, but we're in Australia, Bali, some parts of like Southeast Asia, Europe, Mexico, Scandinavia, here obviously in the United States. That's our main market. We're in about 200 professional locations throughout the world. Yeah.
It's a great story. Yeah, I mean, I personally use your products; they're phenomenal. So if we went
Thank
forward
you.
a step, my pleasure. It's great. It's like so talk a little bit around because biohacking's a big thing, right, in the US. And this was, I think, when I first met you, it was what is. I mean, I remember going through and learning biohacking, because it's not a name that we use in the New Zealand, but obviously in the industry in the US. But, I think I met you, you were like the biohacking creams for the face, right? Was that correct?
Yes. The problem with biohacking is it's, by the way, that's the word I use to describe myself, a biohacker, and that is the community I most identify with. I have to be honest. The problem with that, as far as like serving people, is that it's divisive. I think around COVID it became divisive, and we see it later on, especially here in the US, because I mean, I'll give you an example. Brian Johnson right now in the United States is very, very popular. People might know him because of the fact that he spends like $2 million a year on staying youthful, or because there was a Netflix documentary about him. But this crowd is definitely the crowd that would be, uncomfortable with using the word biohacking. And at the end of the day, at the end of the day, we're trying to serve as many people as possible and provide them solutions. Having said that, I believe, so biohacking really is the ability to, in my eyes, is understand what our biology is tuned to do, using cues from nature. Understanding the cues from nature are imperfect. They are not distilled. With good comes some bad, and that is really, we can even talk. We mentioned red light therapy. So sunlight is a combination of red, near infrared, far infrared, and other wavelengths that are actually detrimental, like UV or blue light. And by distilling those wavelengths that we want, we can biohack our biology, giving only the good signal, a little bit tricking the body to think that there is also negative signal that it needs to repair, and that way we can achieve a superhuman result, right? And that applies to hyperbaric oxygen therapy. It applies to your products. It applies to really anything in biohacking. And a small anecdote is when we started, when we were in the red light therapy space, and I was trying to explain the biohacking field, which back then did not have a name.
Mhm.
Joke is that I learned I'm a biohacker when Dave Asprey told me I'm a biohacker. But um, I used to call it consumer facing medical devices because it is using, something that it basically pivoting out of like a very, very, very costly device that you need to come to the clinic to share a cost with everyone, to
Mhm.
creating consumer versions of it that people could use often and get great results. So that is what I think biohacking truly is. It's kind of playing doctor and changing your biology in a safe way, under the guidance of whatever medical association you adhere to, or are under its jurisdiction, in a safe way, but also measuring that, being able to measure that, and being able to follow up on your measured results. I think it's a big part of biohacking. Um, and I think to us, and I think to you as well, this is kind of our home field. What we're experiencing now is skincare is so vast, and most people would like to biohack. They just never heard about the word, so they would like to change their biology by changing something in the environment or something that they use, but they don't know how it looks like. That's why you have a podcast. That's why we have a podcast. And so we are trying to find other ways, other niches, other ways to speak with people and try to guide them through, using those advanced longevity molecules to affect the skin biological age.
Yeah, I think we're definitely in an age of the need for education, right? But just people still don't know a lot about it, some of this, and we, as you say, we're fortunate we're in a group of people that really get this, and the people that are turning up to the conferences understand it, or they're now inquisitive enough to learn more. But it's actually getting
Yeah.
the education out. Why this whole podcast was about, was people need to understand it. Like the lymphatic system, I'm sure you know, is one of the least understood and recognized in the whole medical situation. And you kind of think you cannot even understand why once you know a little bit about it. But I think this is where we've realized that we do need to expand and open up insight, let's use that word, for others to understand why they would be involved in this. So what, let's go to your products. So they are a skin product, and that you could literally eat it, right? If you wanted to,
I don't think you should eat any skincare. That's the reason is that it's funny because I was talking about this with our social media team, and they're like, listen, we want to talk about skincare you can eat and stuff like that. I told them, look, I think it's the wrong discussion. And that's because there are things that you can eat and are very healthy for you to eat, that it's actually super, super dangerous to put on your skin.
yeah,
For example, lemon, for example, garlic or onion, or even a potato. If you're going to apply them on your skin, you are going to create irreversible damage, by the way. So don't do that. But these systems are not equal, and a lot of the things that we're doing with the skin, the fact that you will not incur any harm by eating our products, yes, that is a true statement. Having said that, it is not a litmus test, I would say, to the quality of a product. Actually, I think the reason that there is that clean skincare companies are now going bankrupt left and right, that the entire craze, even though it still exists when you and I open our social media, on the back end, these companies lose a lot of money, and the reason is it's a race to the bottom. Why? Because you're talking about what you don't have. Well, if you don't have it, I can also not have it, and both of us are going to be. So we see it now with tallow, right? Tallow skincare companies, which we are starting to educate people as to like why we decided not to use tallow, for example. That its shelf life. I don't know if you know, shelf life of tallow is like 3 months. But
wow,
yeah, and people don't know it. They use a cream. They put their fingers in it every day. No, no, it's 3 months when it's in your cupboard in a dark space, right? So, um, So the discussion about what you kind of don't have is a definitely good anecdote, but it's a conversation I think is misunderstood, and I call it clean washing, because you're trying to infer merit through lack of ingredients, for that matter. What we're trying to do, definitely part of our credo is do no harm, or the what we call homeostatic skincare. It's a skincare that keeps your skin in a homeostatic state. It doesn't disrupt it. But on the other hand, on the flip side of that, we are results oriented. What we are trying to do is um, to create skincare that speaks the language of youth. So how does that look like? And by the way, you know what? I'm going to make it very short, and I'm going to break down the flip side of that. But what that means is we are looking at the 12 reasons our skin ages, which is called the hallmarks of aging, which are very substantiated. Most of the journals today, medical journals around aging, they basically are conversations around these 12 hallmarks of aging. So we use skincare that targets these entire 12 hallmarks of aging and does it within the confines of what you are trying to get. Whether it is wrinkles, so let's say someone is interested in their skin looking more taut or less wrinkly or firmer, whatever that is. The reason it is not is related to these 12 reasons our skin ages. So we can treat that side, collagen, the quality of collagen your skin makes, the quantity. Same thing with elastin, same thing with hyaluronic acid. That's like one area. The other is, let's say, pigmentation or bruising or sensitivity or redness or acne. All of those things have a deep underlying mechanism that controls it. And we target that mechanism rather than trying to kill the bacteria that's sitting right now inside the pore, the hair follicle, and causes the acne. Actually, within that, new studies show that you can, if someone has these deep underlying issues, are healthy, are unproblematic, you could literally apply acne causing bacteria in the like 10 times more than the minimum dose you would need to cause acne, and that person won't get acne, and vice versa. You actually don't have to have those A or P acne bacteria, that's how they called, to have acne if your underlying mechanisms are messed up. Okay, so that's number one. We treat the fundamental building blocks of what it means to have youthful, healthy skin. But we do it, that's it. If that would be the only thing that you're trying to do as a company, you're running the risk to create products no one understands how to use. That's the truth. You're going to have like 5 different gels, different consistencies. It's not going to be user friendly, and people are just not going to use it. So what we're trying to do on the other side is build them in a set of systems that would be very, I would say, very intuitive as far as like the user. So, cleanser, essence, which it's interchangeable with a toner. So cleanser, essence / toner, serum, moisturizer, and sunblock. We also have a product that maybe is a little bit of those, that gel that no one knows how to use, which is our hyperbaric mask, which actually gains. So we talking to someone in big beauty and not longevity, this is probably the product that they would know out of all of our products. But that's a gel you apply overnight after a moisturizer, and it makes your skin think it's in a hyperbaric chamber. So yeah, this is basically a system. That's how you build a system. Normally, all our products stays the same, and then the serum is really where you would differ from me. So our system is going to look probably identical, with the serum being the thing that, or multiple serums if you want to treat multiple things. That's going to be where you and I are going to kind of have a difference in protocol.
Because you have a new one, right? The LADR serum? Is that correct? So where does
Yes.
that, what's different about that?
What's different, first of all, is that it's light activated. It could be from infrared from sauna or a suit, but it was designed really to be activated by red or near infrared light. That could be from the sun, that could be from a panel. And it goes after, first and foremost, it goes after UV DNA damage. So it actually reverses, treats the damage caused by the sun to your
Mm-hmm.
DNA. It's the first product ever to do that. It's based on about 10 studies published in the most leading longevity and aging related scientific journals. It's just no one picked up the glove and made literal products with it, because everyone is waiting for Tammy. Sorry if your name is Tammy, listener, but like Tammy in Middle America to know about something and to save the education piece. So no one's picking up the glove and saying, this is substantiated, this is hot, let's make a product now that will benefit everyone. And maybe invest in education a little bit. That's why other companies have not done it yet. But that reverses DNA damage. We have, obviously, we raise NAD levels with that product, as we do with most products. And we also take care of the recycling part, the cleaning out part that we spoke about before. We do it with spermidine, that is now popular because people inject salmon sperm into their skin. I don't know if you know that, but no salmon was harmed or pleasured in the making of this product. We make it out of wheat germ. So these are kind of the main players with this serum. It also has a molecule we make out of spirulina that actually enhances light. It's photoluminescent. It means when you activate it with light, it makes more light on its own. So if I activate it with red light, it makes more red light on its own. So it actually increases the intensity of the red light that we're using on it. I use it every day. I now use it as my serum because I go out to the sun. It's bananas. It's the best product I believe we've ever made. And anyone who uses red light, it's going to blow their mind. You just apply it like 2 minutes before you use a red light therapy panel or go into infrared sauna. And again, I get messages from some celebrities and people like that got my number throughout the years, and everyone's mind is blown.
That's
Ben
amazing.
Greenfield, shout out to Ben Greenfield, just posted about it. So it's
Oh,
it's getting
great.
it's getting there. Yeah.
That's congratulations. That's wonderful. I look forward to hopefully we'll connect at one of the conferences
Yeah.
in April when I'm there, and I'll just
Hmm.
have to test it out and then feed everyone back. So I'll look about 20.
Yeah.
No pressure. Well, no, look, thank you. I really, really appreciate your time and your insight and the incredible work that you're doing in skincare, because I do
Thank you.
feel it is an area that we are, it's under recognized for its effect overall on how powerful it can be. We're always thinking of wrinkles, like you said, but no one's
Hmm.
really thinking on that deeper level. So, congratulations to you and Anastasia, because I think it's leading the change that we need to see. If you
Thank
had
you.
any, like, we're going to put all your details up about Young Goose. Everyone can have a look. It's an incredible product. But, if you got a couple of, like, one or two, let's use the word tips that, for that you've come across over the years, just being in this industry, that really do make a difference to the health of the skin of the face. Is there anything that you can put forward?
Yeah. So we do have a podcast that's called like Biohacking Beauty, where we really go. If you wanted to hear an hour and a half about vitamin C and the good kind, the bad kind, all of that, if you are that type of person, then you love that podcast. If you're not, then don't don't start. Having said that, so here are a few pointers that I love specifically. So our skin is especially good at renewal during sleep, especially between the hours of 10 to 12, to 10 to midnight. So if you are someone that is led by, skin health for that matter, you want to be asleep during that time. That's number one. Number two, um, I would say that eliminating sugars is a crucial part of skin longevity, because the skin is very susceptible to something called advanced glycation end products, or a process called glycation, which is basically sugar molecules attaching to proteins. So they attach to proteins like collagen, elastin, and again, not great for your skin, creating a more rigid, flaky, kind of deeper wrinkles type skin, mainly around the eyes, by the way. And number three, I'm going to give it I know I poo-pooed Botox in the beginning of this podcast. Something that relates to lymphatic health as well. If you are someone who does Botox, and I can tell you that I don't know if it helps your mental state, and that's something that is an overall positive in your life. I think you should do it. Having said that, once the Botox kind of wears off, so 3 to 6 months after you've had it injected, before going to do it again, make sure that you are doing almost like a lymphatic system reset in the face, which is buccal massages, using the flow presso, doing gua sha, whatever that is. We really need to almost reset that lymphatic system when the muscles start to move, and we don't create toxin. We're not increasing the toxic load in our body, on our lymphatic system, because once you've reintroduced that neurotoxin, that lymphatic system again cannot function correctly, and you won't have the clearing of toxins. And it is dangerous to do lymphatics, like a heavy lymphatic massage or lymphatic movement, when Botox is fresh and working in your skin, which could take like a month or ish, because you might actually get that neurotoxin into your lymph nodes, and that's how you get Botox poisoning. So again, 3 to 6 months, when that is your time to get Botox reintroduced to your facial system, make sure you do it, whether at home or with a professional.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I do feel we need to be educating a lot more in that area, because people don't quite understand what happens, and I'm not an expert in the area, but I've certainly seen the costs to it, and my concern is always the lymphatics and what is that long-term impact. So thank you, I really appreciate you sharing that information.
Yeah.
Well, thank you from me especially for taking the time. I know you're really busy, and I really do appreciate you giving us that insight. We'll have all the information on the podcast. That it is highly educational, so it's worth going to listen to if you're into watching or listening to podcasts. And we'll have all the information on how to find the beautiful products of Young Goose. Thank you again, Amitay, for taking the time with me. I do really appreciate it.
Thank you, Desiree.